It's time to jump into the Virginia This Morning virtual kitchen. If you like eggs, you're going to enjoy this delicious and easy to make recipe. Let's take a look.
We're in for a delightful treat today. Mary Rapoport with the Virginia Egg Council joins us today with a delicious recipe. Mary, it's wonderful to see you.
Oh, and Happy New Year to you. And I don't know about you, Jessica, but I gained a few pounds over the holiday. And this recipe is one that I pulled out of my file because a couple of years ago, I had a son who was getting married and I was doing some wedding shedding. And so even though I don't have a wedding to shed for now, but I still need to do some shedding. So I thought it would be kind of fun to do. It's actually a Weight Watchers recipe that I have adapted over the years. And I'm going to start off with what it is it's a bed of spinach with rings of peppers and then eggs baked in it. And it's so delicious, you don't even feel like you're dieting. So.
Well, 'twas the season, yes, for some quite a bit of goodies and snacks. And now 'tis the season to be looking ahead into wherever we're headed in terms of shaping up. So
maybe a bathing suit. How about that? So I'm
maybe one day.
You can do this actually in a casserole dish, or you can do it in a skillet that you can put in the oven. And I'm going to spray it first. And then I need 3 packages of spinach that you squeeze the life out of. And you know what you do? You just thaw the spinach and cut a little snip off the bottom and then squeeze it out there. And once that's done, you can see what the spinach comes out and it's nice and dry. You don't want to just thaw the spinach out and dump that in, because look at how much water or liquid is in here. You would just have too much liquid. So that's 1 package right there. And then I have 2 more packages right here. And the neat thing about frozen spinach is it's really very inexpensive. Like usually you can get it for $1 a piece, or just a little bit more than $1. So the 3 packages of spinach go in here. You need a cup of onion that I've chopped. It calls for a large onion. This is pretty much what I consider a large onion, and it's chopped. Then you need some herbs and things. This is 2 cloves of garlic that's chopped up. Do you ever use cumin, Jessica?
Yes.
It's
yes.
a wonderful herb if you like. Sometimes you have it in chili, but this is sort of a Mideastern dish, and it's often in Mideastern dishes. It's a teaspoon of cumin, some salt, some freshly cracked black pepper, and it says or any herbs, other herbs you want. I actually have some basil and oregano, and then I always kind of like a bite, so I'm putting a tiny bit of red pepper, but that could be skipped if you don't like it, a bite in it. You stir this up. Your oven is set at 425 degrees, pretty hot oven. And at this point, some olive oil. It's a very Mediterranean type of dish. You know, we're always talking about that Mediterranean diet and how great it is, and this is it. Okay, so I would bake this for about 20 minutes, at which point I take it out of the oven. And the original recipe called for delicata squash, which I have hunted everywhere in Virginia for, couldn't find it. So I decided we were going to use pepper rings. I did see it in California, so it is available somewhere. If you happen to have it, you slice it and core it and use that for rings. But you put these in here like this, since we can't find that. And that's why I say I adapted it, because I changed the recipe to suit what we could find. So this goes back in the oven, and you bake it for about another 15 to 20 minutes, and it softens the pepper. And at that point, you take it out, and in each little hole right here, I have eggs cracked right here, and you would fill them in with an egg like that. You can sprinkle some more salt on it if you want, some more pepper. It goes back in the oven, and you do it, all of them, obviously. You bake it for about 8 to 10 minutes, and what happens is you end up having these wonderful baked eggs in there. At this point, You want to finish it off with some feta cheese. The feta cheese can be eliminated if you don't like feta. You could use goat if you wanted to. And then some olives. If you don't like olives, these are those wonderful sort of Greek olives. So it's a wonderful Greek sort of flavor you get. And then some fresh parsley. This was the last of my parsley. Everything else is frozen. All my herbs are frozen. And that's the dish. It's wonderful. It cooks in like, beginning to end, it's about an hour. But the most important thing is it's super nutritious, and then it's beyond belief delicious. I would serve it like this, nice and hot, but I've actually had leftovers and actually served it microwaved. And this is how I would have my meal. Now, the only thing of any caloric is the bread on here. If you don't want the bread, you can skip that. But if you were doing a diet, the fruit is terrific, and everything here is terrific also. Super nutritious, super delicious. So.
Mary, that is picture perfect, and you answered my question. If you had leftovers, does this warm up beautifully?
Absolutely.
And it looks like it would.
Just pop in the piece in the microwave. It's just wonderful. And what happens is, as soon as the white of the egg is done, you can go ahead and take it out, because the yolk will have gotten to a point where it's safe to eat. Just a little bit runny, and it's just beautiful. Honestly, if you never have tried a recipe that I've done before, do try this because it's so delicious. It's called baked eggs with squash, because it calls for squash initially. Spinach and feta. I guess you can get the recipe at WTVR.com.
Yep, you sure will.
Eggcouncil.org also. So this was only
Absolutely.
2 points when I was doing Weight Watchers. So that's amazing, isn't it?
Looks fantastic, Mary. Thank you for sharing it with us. We will put that recipe up later today. WTVR.com/VTM is the spot to go. And I love it. I'm going to give that one a try. Thanks, Mary.